Hello and welcome back to another Rush Duel Links video. Today we have a brand new Forbidden/Limited List and Skill Balance update. Now, we were somewhat predicting that we might get one of these because we did get one in a similar time frame last year. It wasn't the exact date, but it was just basically a few days ago, a year ago. But we were expecting this nonetheless. Now, this could be very interesting. So we're expecting some Rush stuff because, again, in the balance update we had a year ago, it was just a skill change and they buffed the Blue Eyes White Dragon skill, which allowed them to use Monarchs, for example. So this is most likely going to be the kind of pre-Worlds balance fixing. So this could be any number of things. This could be speed and rush. This could be just one or the other. This could be skills. This could be cards. This could be absolutely everything. We're not really sure. What am I really expecting from this? Well, I think realistically, Light Galaxy could use another hit. Now, is it still too soon to hit some of the box URs? Probably. So I would predict that one of their SRs is probably going to get hit, maybe like Trileo, maybe something like that. I think they need just one more limit 3, just to give them that one little bit of an extra slap on the wrist. I think Dark Galaxy was overhit, so I might see one of their limit 3s become limit 2, or might get unlimited. So for example, they could unhit. The issue is, I don't think the game is going to be in a great spot if we have Chrysaor plus Star Trancer and the Tearfing. So, as a wild guess, I'm going to say they're going to unhit the Void Corridor, because I think that makes the most sense. I think it was a weird hit in the first place. Beyond that, I don't think much needs a hit, if we're being completely honest. I think Light Galaxy would do with another hit. I think Dark Galaxy could do with an unhit. Now, they could change the skills, but again, I don't know if it's still too early to realistically expect big skill changes on those skills specifically, especially because I think Konami's going to want very impactful anime decks going into Worlds. They might not want them to be quite as strong as they are right now, so that's why I think they're just going to slap on the wrist rather than a massive nerf. But we'll start out with the cards, because I think those generally are less impact, then we'll go check out the skills. So, first things first. Right, She and Spy. So this is part of an FTK, this is completely fine. Ray Victory, this card is super toxic, so we'll have to see this kind of gone. Salaman, Great Resurgence. I'm not all in on speed, so I'm not going to give like too in-depth reviews on these. I'm not really a big fan of the bird, so this getting hit I'm quite happy with. Felgrand is unhit, Herald unhit, Vortex unhit, Fright for Patchwork. So I do play Fluffles, so Fright for Patchwork unhit is actually a really cool thing for me. I don't think it makes any difference though. I think this is kind of just cleanup, because I don't think you'd play like any of like the limit 3 cards in this deck anyway. Maybe I'm wrong, but we have a lot of the birds going to limit 3. Okay. Alright, Rush Duel. Phoenix Dragon to 2. So at the moment, for context, we only have Magical Miracle as the only limit 2 in the game. Phoenix Dragon to 2 is actually something that I asked for a very long time ago. So my prediction was we'd put a really important card at limit 2, and then we'd start putting things like Phoenix Dragon at limit 2. So you'd effectively only let people have one copy of this card, because they'd be fighting for a spot with another card. But this looks like we're just going to get straight up 2 Phoenix Dragon. Now, again, we haven't seen the rest. There might be more limit 2s. But 2 Phoenix Dragon is actually really, really big. This will make, obviously, Dragon Fusion a bit stronger. This will make the new Red Boot deck stronger. This will make even the Baseball deck. This is a big hit for or a big buff for Baseball, which is actually really, really cool. So I'm actually really, really excited about this. Really, really cool consistency tool. Gaia, Conqueror of Champions to 2. Now, obviously, we only have one copy of this card. So this is telling us, assuming there's no other limit 2s, we don't want you playing 2 Phoenix Dragon and Gaia. I mean, Phoenix Dragon gets you access to Curse of Dragon. I'm not expecting another product release anytime soon. Well, we are expecting a product release probably about 3 to 4 weeks away, so maybe this is getting ready for that. This could actually be super telling. Because if this could mean, right, and this might be some like harebrained scheme, this could mean we're going to get battle-tested Curse of Dragon in the next box, which would go so hard. That card is actually busted. If we actually get that card, that is going to be crazy. Void Corridor. Okay, so we did sort of predict this. We did say that we thought this was going to get unhit. This is just straight up to limit 2. So this lets Dark Galaxy players get 2 of their Void Corridors back. That is fine. I think this is probably better than unhitting it, to be honest. This is... It's going to help the deck out. The deck has been doing well in the last couple of tournaments. It's got 2 top 8s recently. So maybe with this back to 2, they can kind of get back into those kind of top 4 finishes. Maybe they'll get back to being like a high-tiered deck. No longer on the list. Magical Miracle. So we've now got a new Limit 2 section. It's just these 3. And now Magical is off the list. Okay, does that change anything? Not really. It just means you can play a 3rd Magical Miracle. I don't think that's going to be the difference maker for Psychic, realistically. Silver Mountain of Blistopia. I mean, this card was weird to be Limit 1'd in the first place. I don't see this having a huge impact on the meta. I don't see this having any impact on the meta, if being completely honest. And then that is it. Okay, so what have we not hit? We have not hit Light Galaxy. We've unhit Dark Galaxy, which I think was a really important hit. We've unhit Gaia. So now the big thing here is that now Gaia can use Legends. Again, we can use Pot of Greed or we can use one of the traps. I don't think on its own this means anything. I don't think Gaia, Conqueror of Champions going to Limit 2, right now means Gaia is going to be playable. The issue is the skill got too much of a hit. If they unhit some of the skill, if they let us, for example, just get the 600 attack boost back, maybe this will be a deck that we could talk about, but as for right now, this is nothing. So far, I don't think they're gonna hit the Light Galaxy skill, so I still think this means Light Galaxy is untouched, which is, I'm not happy. Like, I don't dislike the Light Galaxy deck, but the Light Galaxy deck is so much stronger than every other deck, and it's been strong for such a long time that I think it just needs a hit. But let's take a look at the skill rebalancing. So, Zexal, Power of the Future, Baron Battle Morph, Tuning, Crystal Radiance, Tri-Brigade Trigger, Elemental Order, Dark Order, Book of Moon. So that means no rush hits. Okay, so no rush hits. Again, we weren't expecting it, so I'm not, like, too upset about that. I just feel like this is 2 lists in a row that we just had to give Light Galaxy a harsher hit, and we just didn't. And that is disappointing to me. So, like, I'm not upset. I'm just a little bit disappointed. I think it does make sense. Again, they want, ideally, Light Galaxy to be at Worlds. They want Spellcasters to be at Worlds. They want Heroes to be at Worlds. And that's kind of the meta we find ourselves in. Red Boot is also, like, not a bad deck to have at Worlds. I think from an anime perspective, from getting eyes on the game, having, like, old decks, familiar decks, decks from the show, does make a lot of sense. So maybe they're going to release the new box. It's going to have some Gaia stuff in it, like we say the Veteran Curse of Dragon or Battle Tested Curse of Dragon. And they'll make Gaia like the other familiar deck, because then people who only play DM or only watch DM will be able to identify what this card is, sort of, and then have a bit of familiarity. Maybe that'll get more eyes on it, but who knows? Who even knows? But overall, my conclusions, Light Galaxy should have got harder hit. The rest of this is fine. I don't think this is going to have a huge impact, if much of any. I think the most important one is Void Corridor to do. But thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.